This is a tutorial on how to do a clipping mask to your text or anything else you want to do its clipping mask to. So the first thing we're going to do here is I want to bring my School of Rock logos into this document. So I've already downloaded the PNGs of the logo. Those are both in our classroom. If you look in the assignment for the School of Rock posters, right here, in this tutorials, there's a flat and a stacked logo PNG, so you can just download them from there. I've already downloaded mine. They're here on my desktop, so I'm just going to pull them in here onto Illustrator. The next thing I want to do is right now, these are just PNGs. So you could just use them as they are. They're fine like this. You don't want to distort them though. If you are going to be putting them on your piece and you want to scale them down, don't forget to push shift when you do that so that it is a good size for you to use. But let's say you want to fill this text with an image. Or let's say, for example, you want to fill the name of your band. So I'm just going to click right here and type in all caps here, Green Day. Let's say I want to have that be my text. And I actually think that I will just do the word green as one and then type again for the word day. All right, and I'm just going to select both of those. Shift, scale them up, and grab them both. And then I'm going to go into my character panel here and just find another font that's nice and bold and big the way I want them to, like that. And okay, so now I have a couple different things that I want to play with, and I might want to fill them with an image. I'm going to put this one off to the side for now. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is use an image to fill it with. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search up fire, okay, by, in the images part. Okay, so I'm looking at an image search and for the word fire. Now don't forget the next thing, you want to go to tools, okay, and you want to make sure that you say size large. That way, when you find these images, you'll find one that's actually a large image. But last thing, do not just pull from the little thumbnail here. You want to actually get the large image over here. So you can either pull this one, or what I always do is I right click on the image and say saved image as, and that way I can make sure that I format it as a PNG or as a JPEG. If you don't have the option to do that as a PNG or a JPEG, I'd suggest just finding another image. It's not really worth it to try to figure that out right now. So, but it is possible. I'll show you in class if you really need an image and you don't have a choice there. I can go through the steps. Okay. So I saved that image of fire to my desktop. So here it is. Oops, that's not it. Here it is, right here. So I'm just going to drag this onto my Illustrator workspace as well. So, and I'm going to scale this down, holding Shift. So now I have fire, and I have all these different things. Now, I want to do what's called creating a clipping mask. But right now, if I was to put this fire on top of the words or the logo for School of Rock, and I look at my layers, this stuff here. If I look in my layers right now, everything is in the same layer. If I open it up, make sure your layers are nice and clean and you're paying attention to what you're doing there. If I have the linked file and then I also click on the logo linked file, I held on a Mac, I held Command so I could select both things without the stuff in the middle. And I say Object Clipping Mask Make. You will see it will not work. Okay? That's because your image is on top of the text. So I'm going to make another layer here and pull this image layer into that separate layer and pull this logo into this layer. So I have separate layers for everything here, okay, that I'm doing right now. So now I'm going to put this fire behind my logo. grab both things, the logo and the fire, and say object, clipping mask, make. Still didn't work. Here's the reason why, all right? This logo right now is a PNG, and in order to actually make that clipping mask work, Illustrator needs to see this PNG as a path, like an actual, like a vector art path. So what I need to do is I need to image trace this first, okay? Same thing we did in the other video, image tracing. So I click on this, the School of Rock logo. I'm gonna go to image trace up here, or you can open up your image trace window. I like to do it that way because then I can pre-select my colors. So I'm gonna say 3 colors. It's gonna do its thing. Again, I only had the logo selected here while it's doing the image trace. And I'm gonna click ignore white. And that's gonna reprocess that design so that it only gives me the logo part that I want without that white select there. So now you can see I have a see-through image. If I turn this off, it looks almost exactly the same, but the difference is if I come in here and I'm going to say expand, now you can see I have paths everywhere, all these little paths, okay? So now I can select that. So I'm going to bring that image back on, and I'm going to select the School of Rock and the image. So I've selected both of these things here. You can see they're both selected in my layers. And now I'm going to try object, clipping mask, make. Let's see it first. It did not work because it just took complex. So I'm going to go into layer 3 here, and I'm going to ungroup this object, ungroup. Now I'm going to try it again. I'm going to use just the School of Rock portion and the fire. Let's try it again. And it worked. Okay, so it doesn't like it when it's a group either. So you want to ungroup your layer once you expand it. So there you go. Now you have it filled with fire. Pretty cool. All right. Now, just to show you how to do that with text, you can select text and do that, but I'm going to undo the previous one so I can use the same image of fire here. I'll put that below the content layer. I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to say object, clipping mask, make. And it will work, but I just it wants to do one at a time. I think. So I'm going to go one, pull these words into their own layers. Okay, and so now I'm going to have to do both of them separately. So I'm going to take this layer of the fire, and I'm going to Command C to copy, and I'm going to Command B to paste right behind. So you can see here now I've pasted behind with Command B as in boy. I've got now 2 layers here. So I will use one for green and one for day, but they will be exactly lined up. You could also do this a couple different ways. You could also combo green day into one here. That would work too. As a make, and now I'm going to separate that. Okay, so let's do day object as day, and then let's select object as make, and there we go. So now those are both in that same, like the fire makes sense there. It's like one solid image. There's other ways we can do that, but I just want you to see how to do a clipping mask and how sometimes we'll have to do an image trace and expand and ungroup a PNG in order to do that clipping mask.